My name is Christoph Hoffmann. I was born and raised in southwestern Germany. That's about 5 kilometers to France and about 20 kilometers to Switzerland. So this is a triangle of the three countries, Germany, Switzerland and France. I studied forestry in Freiburg, a little nice town at the edge of the Black Forest. And so forestry was my life before I became mayor in a little town in Germany. And after that, I was elected into the German parliament here in Berlin, and I'm responsible for international cooperation and development.
Moi, je m'appelle Ludovic Vulliermet, je suis français, je suis le représentant départemental sur le pays de Savoie du mouvement radical social-libéral, membre de l'ALDE et du groupe Renaissance européenne, Renew Europe. Donc nous sommes très investis dans tout ce qui est coopération européenne et projets européens, notamment et également en ce qui concerne les coopérations transfrontalières. Voilà, j'ai été élu municipal en charge de l'aménagement comme maire adjoint à l'urbanisme sur une commune de Grand Lac pendant 20 ans et je me suis plus particulièrement intéressé aux projets de transport, notamment les transports en commun, car le transport et l'aménagement du territoire au niveau de l'urbanisme sont un seul et même entité à concevoir.
Despite the fact that I lived and worked in different countries inside and outside Europe, I spent most of my life in so-called Euro districts. My childhood in the Savoie-Lux area, the region where France, Germany and Luxembourg meet. And since 2004 I live in Basel, in the heart of the region where France, Germany and Switzerland meet.
We had very good times in southwestern Germany. A lot of companies came in and invested in our area. So we had a lot of people moving to us because there was work and there was good wages. But now we are in a crisis. The COVID crisis came over us and really touched us. And in the beginning of the crisis, the borders to France and Switzerland were closed. And this really hurt our economy and this hurt people, and it was not the same as before. So we fought that the borders were reopened urgently because we could not live without these people from other countries. In the second wave now, in the second recession in the COVID crisis, borders were kept open. This was due because we were working hard on this. And there was one thing I was really touched by, because there was a mayor from France who was sick from COVID. And he was transferred to a German hospital and they tried to save his life, but unfortunately they couldn't. And that was a great gesture of the Germans. So the French really appreciated that. So this will hold for a long, long time. And I'm very proud that we could do that and that we could serve our French neighbors.
What I really noticed when I first moved here is that unlike in other border areas of Europe, it is not only the institutional link that regulates the cross-border relations, but it is really society that is strongly interlinked. The cross-border is not only about going to shop or to work in the neighboring country, but is also about living it every day. Numerous are the families that have parts of themselves in the different countries. Friendships are built across the borders, but also partnerships more and more where unmarried couples live on different sides of the boundaries. This obviously has also as a consequence that sometimes you're more interested in what's happening in across the border than what's happening further distant in your own country. The federalistic nature of Switzerland contributing to this very strongly. But today I see that people in Basel will be partially more interested in what's happening in Lörrach or Freiburg or Mulhouse or Belfort than what's happening in Geneva or Lugano. And I sense it is similar on the French side, where in Saint-Louis or Mulhouse they might be more interested in what's happening in Basel than what's happening in Paris or in Lyon.
Si aujourd'hui j'ai choisi de vous accueillir devant la gare de Champel, c'est qu'il s'agit à mon avis d'un projet phare et d'un symbole de la collaboration et d'une réussite transfrontalière. En effet, au début des années 2000, le canton de Genève, le canton de Vaud et la région Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes se sont rendus compte que sur le demi-million de trajets quotidiens qui relient nos trois régions, seulement 16% étaient des transports en commun. Il y avait de plus des pics de pollution, une saturation sur nos routes, et donc ce projet est né.
Le Léman Express a permis de tenir compte des facteurs humains et économiques au-delà des précarés nationaux et d'aboutir à un vrai projet commun de société et d'humanité.
The future of our cross-border relationship will be bright, hopefully. But all the frontiers have to disappear. So it should be an open space for everyone and the Europe of regions, as it was promised when we started the European community. We still have this bureaucracy of the EU posting directives. And this is really something which should disappear. There is no reason to have this because it needs a lot of paperwork so that small business owners cannot drive to France and work there and vice versa. There is no more reason for that. The ALDE party should really stop this in the Parliament of Europe.
Ce fédéralisme ne doit pas être l'apanage, l'exclusivité au niveau des États, mais on doit pouvoir penser un fédéralisme inter-région, canton, suisse, région française, canton suisse et Länder allemand, pour même finalement aller plus dans la transversalité des compétences. Finalement, comment promouvoir cet idéal européen par les relations transfrontalières? Ça sera la notion de citoyenneté européenne supranationale. Donc c'est vraiment un point sur lequel nos États doivent arriver à travailler pour vraiment concevoir une notion de citoyenneté européenne sans renoncer à la citoyenneté nationale, comme le font l'exemple suisse déjà fédéral, où les gens ont une notion de citoyenneté suisse en ayant aussi la notion de citoyenneté cantonale.
What is really important to notice if you know this area is that it is society that makes the cross-border relations, and the institutional aspect of it helps and assists to make this society life easier. But it is not the institutional side that generates it. And I think we should focus less on the institutional side and more on the societal side, encouraging us to open ourselves to our neighbor in the neighboring country and foster the creation of regions that come culturally closer with really integrated societies. And then the institutional aspects will help us in the afterwards.
Le gouvernement suisse, pendant plus de 4 ans, a travaillé avec l'Union européenne. Ce travail a donné lieu à plus de 6 accords différents, notamment sur la liberté de mouvement des personnes. En septembre dernier, les Suisses ont été appelés à voter pour savoir s'ils voulaient aller contre cet accord, s'ils voulaient casser cet accord, et plus de 60% des Suisses ont décidé de maintenir la libre circulation et de maintenir des bonnes relations avec l'Union européenne.
The Swiss people confirmed their attachment to the continuation of the bilateral ways that have been started earlier in this century. At the same time, we need to be careful not to misunderstand this as a blanco check for further integration of the institutional side, which will then be subject to further referendum in Switzerland.